far away, there was a place where no one gets a fairy tale happy ever after. This place is Disney. Well, Disney movies. They might seem to all have happy endings, but in reality, Disney movies are extremely dark. If you take a second to analyze the films, you'll see just how truly disturbing these movies are. From death, murder, and violence, let's take a look at some of the horrors found in Disney movies. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today I'm bringing you the top 10 scary Disney movie theories, part 4. And before we begin, if you didn't know already, we have a brand new channel starring the one and only Che Durena.
Just like blup blup blup. Oh, and that was for sure poo. This is gonna be Top 10 Central Vibe. Hope you guys like it. It's gonna be starring me all the time. We're in the Illuminati.
It's Top 10 Central Vibe, so make sure to subscribe because we will be posting content very soon. Starting off this countdown, we have the murderer. In Wreck-It Ralph, we learn that Calhoun, voiced by Jane Lynch, is the way that she is because of her programmed tragic backstory. Basically, on Calhoun's wedding day, a cybug burst into the church and ate her husband. Calhoun defends herself and her wedding guests by shooting the cybug. But what we eventually learn is that cybugs turn into whatever they eat, meaning it would have turned into her husband, meaning Calhoun shot and killed her own husband. The cybugs aren't to blame for this one. Calhoun viciously murdered her husband. Unintentionally, that is. Or was it? Moving on to number 9, we have Boo the Brave. So there's a huge theory out there that attempts to prove that all Pixar movies are related in some way. Part of this theory argues that Boo from Monsters, Inc. is in fact the witch from Brave. I know it seems wild right now, but just hear me out. So first off, Brave takes place hundreds of years before Monsters, Inc. Monsters, Inc. takes place in the future when humans don't exist anymore. It's theorized that the monsters use the doors to go back in time to a child's house to collect their energy. Meanwhile, in Brave, we see that the witch magically disappears when she goes through doorways. Just like the scarers from Monsters, Inc. do. So theory goes that Boo couldn't forget about Sully. She missed him so much that when she grew up, she harnessed magic and figured out how to teleport through doors. She then teleports through these doors in an attempt to stumble across Sully again. So the witch in Brave is Boo, who teleported back in time. Don't believe me? In the witch's workshop, there's a carving of Sully there. How would she carve this if she has never even met him before? Another theory is that all the Easter eggs in every Pixar movie were actually left as a trail by Boo to help Sully find her. Coming in at number 8, we have the Mother Killer. In a very sad opening scene in Bambi, we see Bambi's mom get killed by a hunter. While fans have come up with the theory that Bambi's mom was killed by Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. For starters, we know he's a hunter. Then we have the fact that a deer is shown in the opening scene of Beauty and the Beast. Could that be Bambi's mom? And then shortly after, we see a deer's head that looks very similar to Bambi's mom mounted on the wall of the pub that Gaston drinks at. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe Gaston killed poor young Bambi's mom. In our 7th spot, we have the Frozen Shining. One fan is convinced that Frozen was basically inspired by the horror movie The Shining. They argue that there's just too many similarities between the two films. For starters, the main characters in both movies are a danger to their family, Elsa in Frozen and Jack in The Shining. Then we have the fact that both the characters' personalities begin to change after being isolated in a giant building, located in a cold, desolate area. And Elsa at one point in the film literally almost kills her sister. So I'm thinking another Shining needs to be filmed, this time starring Elsa. Moving on to number 6, we have The Prediction. It's crazy how life as we know it changed right before our eyes. Like in a flash, the virus was just spreading worldwide and we got locked down. Nothing could have prepared us for this. A warning would have been nice. But it may just be that Disney knew exactly what was going to happen to us. The movie Tangled is said to have predicted this outbreak. So in the film, Rapunzel is locked away in a tower with her mother. The town Rapunzel is isolated from is literally named Corona. So it's thought that the town of Corona represents the pandemic, and Rapunzel symbolizes everyone having to self-isolate. First, The Simpsons are predicting the future, and now Disney? We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the incest. Okay. This next theory is going to change the way you look at this film forever. So, Lion King. We all know that Simba and Nala end up together and have kids. Here's the thing. In real life, in a lion pride, you have one male lion that sleeps with all the female lions. So Simba and Nala might have different moms, but Mufasa might just be both their dads, meaning they're half siblings. Whew, yikes. Which makes sense why Scar hated his brother so much and wanted to overthrow him. It's because he was the loser brother that didn't get any. Then when Simba takes his place as king of Pride Rock, well, he won't be loyal to Nala. He's gonna be getting it on with all the other lady lions. In fact, this was one of Disney's concerns. In the original draft of The Lion King, it was implied that Nala's father was in fact Mufasa, but that was cut out to avoid the incest. But still, in our fourth spot we have the drug epidemic. So this next theory has to deal with the film Zootopia. So towards the end of the movie, warning, spoilers ahead, it is revealed that the assistant mayor, a white sheep, has been an evil mastermind all along. She has been infecting animal predators with a serum from night howlers, which makes them regain their predator instincts and become violent again. Well, people claim that this plot is very similar to the 1980s drug epidemic in America. Basically, there's a conspiracy saying that the CIA intentionally introduced cocaine into minority groups, mainly black neighborhoods. This was done to get people to turn against them in fear, stereotyping them as bad people. In the movie Zootopia, the predators are the minority. She introduces the drug into their groups, and she uses the predators' pre-existing stereotypes to then turn the population against them. Yeah, that's an eerie connection. Coming in at number 3, we have Snow White's drugs. Snow White is another Disney film that may be all about drug use, particularly the use of cocaine. For starters, Snow White is another name for cocaine. Then we have the 7 dwarves like Happy, Grumpy, Sneezy, and Dopey. Would you look at that? Those are all potential side effects of doing cocaine. Then we have Doc. Continual cocaine use will most likely end up with you seeing a doctor. The movie is about cocaine use. Confirmed. In our second spot, we have the Slayer. So in part 1 of this video series, I explained how Peter Pan is literally an angel of death. He escorts children to Neverland, which is basically a heaven. But this theory just got 10 times darker. So there's a new theory that Peter Pan has killed countless lost boys. I mean, if he keeps bringing kids to Neverland, you would think he would have tons of lost boys in his group. So now, let's take a look at what the author of Peter Pan had to say about his book. He said, and I quote, "The boys on the island vary of course in numbers, according as they get killed and so on. And when they seem to be growing up, which is a..."
Hey, I'm Kitty Glitter, and I'm here to talk about Bigo Live. Bigo is a free app that allows users to upload their own
as they get killed and so on. And when they seem to be growing up, which is against the rules, Peter thins them out. Excuse me? What did you say? Thins them out? Yeah, Peter Pan kills them once they start aging. He's literally a murderer. And in our number 1 spot, we have the Mourning. Ever notice how a lot of characters in Disney movies are lacking mothers? Bambi's mom gets killed, and Belle, Ariel, and Jasmine, and many other Disney princesses and characters don't have mothers. Why is this? Well, theory goes that this is due to the fact that Walt Disney was still mourning over the loss of his own mother. She died from asphyxiation from a gas leak from her furnace. Walt felt responsible for the death of his mother because this incident occurred in the house Walt bought for his parents. He felt so guilty that he couldn't even bring himself to put mother figures in his own movies. That is so sad.
Starting off this countdown, we have Chip. Obviously, Chip from Beauty and the Beast got his name from the chip we see on his teacup. But the reason why he is chipped may be darker than we realized.